A very good evening to the third consecutive edition of Poll Pulse. On Monday and Tuesday, we put our fingers on the pulse of the voters of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Today, we are focusing on another key swing state, the capital, Delhi. Over the last 2 months, Delhi's electoral map has changed to include the Aam Aadmi Party, injecting a degree of unpredictability in what was traditionally a two-horse contest. This poll is being conducted in the shadow of Arvind Kejriwal surrendering the CM-ship of Delhi for the throne of India. Today, we will poll the people of Delhi to ask not just what they think of this and his politics in general, but also the chances of Narendra Modi and Rahul Gandhi. Remember, Delhi very often is called the bellwether state. What it does, the rest of India follows. Signals are taken from what Delhi does. Let's first go across to Pratyush Dubey, who joins us to set the baseline, give us an account of everything. But before that, I just want to bring in our psephologist, Dhananjay Joshi, to talk us through the poll in general. Dhananjay.
Well, this is a telephonic survey that we did today during the daytime, and we did 1,065 interviews across all the 70 assembly constituencies of Delhi. This is a snap poll, it is randomized, and it is quite representative of Delhi's demography. So the claims that we are going to make in the next half an hour are going to be the actual public opinion of Delhi's electorate.
That's right. I just want to talk to you a little bit more about that. Look at the sample size, 1,065. It's a fairly large, comprehensive sample spread across the demographics of Delhi. We are adhering as closely as possible to the national averages, aren't we? And we've polled across not just identities, but also social strata in the sense of economic strata, isn't it, Dhananjay?
Right. So we have got, our sample basically mirrors what Delhi is. So it mirrors the demography of Delhi in terms of its socio-economic profile. We have Dalits represented in our sample just the way in proportion of what they live in this city. Same is for other communities such as Muslims, men, women, rural, urban. Because
and
it is
youth
Delhi,
and SCs and STs and OBCs, etc. So
right.
It's a
and
fairly representative
Delhi,
sample, and I'm stressing on this point, Dhananjay, I'm sorry to interrupt you, I'm stressing on this point because over the last few weeks, a large number of opinion surveys have been called into question for various reasons.
Right.
So today, we are making our methodology very, very clear. We harbor no pretensions. We are situating it out there for you to judge. Let me quickly bring in Pratyush. Pratyush, go through the historical data, set us the baseline.
Well, you know, Rahul, let's just begin with 2009. These numbers up on your giant screen. Now take a look. In 2009, it was very clear who was the winner. It was the Congress. 57% it dragged in vote share. 7 seats, all 7 Lok Sabha seats really from Delhi by, won by the Congress. Let's just move on very quickly to include 2013. Remember, because there was no Aam Aadmi Party in 2009 was there, and now suddenly this 2-horse race becomes a 3-horse race, and now what do we have on the numbers is a dramatic reversal of fortunes. Take a look at the number that we're going to put up. 33% pulled in by, by 33% vote share pulled in by the BJP, but it's surprisingly it's the Aam Aadmi Party which made a dramatic entry, Rahul. It came in, it got 28 seats in that 72-house assembly.
Absolutely, and let's just go through how things have changed over that particular baseline, because there have been at least 3 polls, opinion surveys that have been conducted. Pratyush, take us through them.
Well, absolutely, Rahul. You know, just to begin with, we're going to make this slightly interesting. We're going to take it across 2 months. In January, CSDS, C-Voter, as well as AC Nielsen, the 3 broad numbers that came out. And look at those numbers on your screen. They're unambiguous, really. The only confusion was between Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP. The Aam Aadmi Party coming in roughly around about 5, and the BJP coming around about 2 across CSDS, AC Nielsen, and as well as C-Voter. But everything really changed in February 2014. Remember, this is the month where Arvind Kejriwal had already resigned. Take a look at these numbers that are going to come up. Now we're only putting up numbers for CSDS and C-Voter. There's a reversal. Nothing changes for the Congress, but for the BJP and the Aam Aadmi, BJP leading is expected to bring it around about 4, and Aam Aadmi around about 3.
Absolutely. If you look at those numbers of CSDS right in the middle, February 2014, it seems to be a bit of a dead heat. Let's introduce the dynamics. I'm going to come back to you, Pratyush, in just a few moments when we begin to reveal the answers to the questions that we've asked our viewers. Joining us this evening, of course, is Dr. Sambit Patra, Dhananjay Joshi, a cephalogist from Cicero, Kartika Sharma, executive editor, Atishri Marlena, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Pankaj Vora, managing editor of the Sunday Guardian, and Madhav Nalapat also with us. We'll be throwing open some of those questions tonight. But are you at all surprised, Mr. Vora, from the numbers and the way the topography of Delhi has changed in just the 2 months? Look at the numbers over the 3 polls.
Well, there hasn't been much change. One can't say, I mean, you know, it's very close between BJP and AAP. You know, it both.
No, but the Congress is a non-player.
No, Congress has been a non-player ever since the assembly polls took place, and
yes,
one doesn't expect the Congress to get any seat in Delhi.
Yes.
But who will get the larger number of seats between AAP and BJP is to be seen. Right now, they are neck and neck.
You are okay with this prediction? You believe that the Congress is going to be a non-starter? Mr. Madhav Nalapat, would you go along with that, Professor?
No, I would certainly go along with that. The Congress is definitely fighting with its back to the wall, and it's likely to have a complete wipeout in Delhi. But having said that, I'd like to point out that what the Delhi electorate, which is a very mature electorate, is showing is that they're fed up of normal politicians and normal politics.
Okay.
So quite frankly, when the AAP party is coming forward only because it is not putting up normal politicians.
Well, it might be at least professing normal politics, which might be a problem over the next couple of months. If they continue in the vein that they've demonstrated, it might be a bit of a problem. Atishi Marlena is also with us of the Aam Aadmi Party. I'm going to go to her in just a few moments. Kartika Sharma, quickly come in. Are you surprised by these numbers at all?
No, I'm not surprised by the numbers at all. Actually, it goes to demonstrate the sort of ground shift which has been there in public.
Yes.
But the important thing is that whether this ground shift can sustain itself till the Lok Sabha elections, because a lot of things had happened by that time.
Okay, like for example, what are the dynamics that could change the outcome in Delhi?
You know, Rahul, a couple of things. For example, the dharna which Arvind Kejriwal has done, one. Yes. Secondly, the sort of publicity he's generating in Gujarat and Maharashtra. He's not paying for the tolls. You know, people are saying that he's breaking the law. If some people have come up that it's too much of nuisance for the public.
Okay.
You see, these things will impact the way Delhi reacts to Kejriwal. He has a solid vote bank.
Okay.
But then you need a little bit of chemistry to, you know, cross that Rubicon.
Very interesting. Dhananjay, I'm going to pull you in just a few seconds because I'm going to go across to Pratyush. Pratyush, our first question. Who should be the Prime Minister of India? What does the capital think?
Right, Rahul, remember this is a question that we've been asking across states, and even today in Delhi, not much really changes. Narendra Modi pulling in 54.6% of votes. Narendra Modi is the choice, but what really is interesting, second choice is Arvind Kejriwal. Arvind Kejriwal with more than about 25%. Now Rahul Gandhi, the Congress's 2014 mascot, coming in only with around about 12.2%.
You know what's really interesting about all of this, Dhananjay, and you know, I'm going to look at the demographic data. You look at the age groups below 23, 23 to 35, 35 to 50, 50 and above. Narendra Modi sweeps the charts, 48% and above, the highest being 58.3 in the 35 to 50, the middle ages. But you look at caste and you look at creed. In caste and creed, it's a very different story. It's a story which is positive and anti-Modi, because as far as the scheduled castes are concerned, the OBCs are concerned, 62 to 48% of the scheduled castes and OBCs in that order are rooting for Modi, not the minorities. The minorities here completely rooting for Arvind Kejriwal, who's edging up to about the 47% mark, and Rahul Gandhi, who comes a close second at 31-odd%. Now, are you at all surprised, Dhananjay, by this very distinct demographic preference?
Well, not at all, because I'm not surprised, because Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party did make a big dent in the Congress's Muslim vote and the Congress's scheduled caste vote in the assembly elections.
Yes.
And Rahul Gandhi and the Congress is not ready on the menu.
It seems that vote might have swung back. It might have swung back, Dhananjay, and that's the point, isn't it?
Well, it hasn't really swung back in that way. And if you look at it, Rahul Gandhi is not really in the menu in Delhi, because Congress is really a non-player player over here. So Congress has just lost after 15 years. Arvind Kejriwal came with a big bang.
Okay.
So the real contest is between Kejriwal and Modi.
Okay.
And Modi, with his national projection as a prime ministerial candidate, has got these figures, which we must remember are lower than
But
what we got in states like UP.
what will worry the BJP for now, Dr. Patra, is while you're picking up in demographics where you never really got support in the past, and one has to make that point, the minorities not very comfortable, particularly the Muslim minority, not very comfortable with Narendra Modi. That might be an issue in some of the more important contests in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, where you're hoping to really cross the threshold so that Mr. Modi can pick up a large number of seats.
No, I believe as far as this particular projection is concerned, it relates to Delhi, and naturally Delhi, where the Congress has become a third player or a non-player, we would be able to say, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi, almost a oblivious figure as far as the politics of the country is concerned, not only Delhi.
But that's a separate issue. Come back to the minority question,
yes,
because that's the question that the Congress is continually ramming down the throats of the electorate, and it seems to be, there seems to be a bit of conviction there amongst at least the minority, the Muslim community. I'm not talking about the Sikhs, because the Sikhs are opposite, absolutely.
No, but this projection is of Delhi, and naturally in Delhi, the minorities have got an option of Arvind Kejriwal also. Arvind Kejriwal being a Delhi-centric phenomenon, and that's the reason probably where he crops up over here in Delhi. But as far as a pan-Indian feeling is concerned, there is no taking a second option.
So you don't think this is going to
transfer?
transfer?
No, this is not at all.
Professor Nalapal,
Well,
you think this will transfer?
I'd like to say that it seems a clear strategy of Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party to concentrate on the minorities. Okay. When you look at the new membership, for
but will
example,
that hurt Modi in the larger context? See, you have contests in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar. Mr. Vora, there are other contests when Narendra Modi is in a tri or a quadrangular contest where this factor could play a huge role. There are about 50 or 60 seats across both Bihar and Uttar Pradesh where the Muslim vote is important.
Well, so far as AAP is concerned, I think wherever AAP candidates will be contesting against BJP, the minority vote will come to AAP as against BJP or any other party, because AAP has demonstrated it, by attacking the BJP office in Delhi, as also Kejriwal's aggressive campaign in Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar, that, he's the only one who can take Modi on head on. So the message has gone loud and clear to the Muslim community. They will be voting for the AAP candidates wherever they are able to give a fight. But
okay, Amir Raza Hussain, do you agree with this hypothesis that the AAP is going to be the default option because the Congress is far too removed from power at this moment, or even the prospect of returning to power, that the Muslim community will not want to waste their vote? Do you believe that, Amir Raza Hussain?
What is very surprising here in this election, that despite the fact that Kejriwal has not tried any kind of appeasement for the Muslims, and he has not tried to offer them any sops in his speeches or his manifesto,
yes,
the Muslim community actually as a whole is veering towards Kejriwal. There
yes,
is no doubt about it. He is getting 70–80% of the Muslim vote, at least in North
Mr.
India.
Raza, I do not agree with you. Mr. Raza, I have a question. Mr. Raza, allow me a question.
Sir,
Just Mr. Raza, an important point from Bharatiya Janata Party. Let me remind you of the fact that the Bharatiya Janata Party went to the Election Commission during the assembly elections, where there was an appeal paper by Mr. Kejriwal appealing the Muslim community as a section. And in fact, the Election Commission took note of it. You should remember this fact, that we had to go to the Election Commission, and there was a rebuttal by the Election Commission. So saying that there's no hope for the Muslim community is
doctor,
wrong.
Yes, quick response, Mr. Raza. Quick response.
May I answer that? Every political party, including the BJP, has had a minority manifesto. In this election in Delhi, in the last election 2 months ago, the BJP also put forward a minority manifesto for the Muslims, as did the Congress party. And there were 8 to 10 to 16-page minority manifestos. In fact, I was responsible for writing the BJP manifesto, so I'm sure that, I know that there was one.
Okay, one second. I want to bring in Atishi. I want to bring in Atishi. There is an interesting...
Arvind Kejriwal's paper, in comparison, was just skimming through the points in comparison to the BJP.
So the minorities don't want soft stories. They want action. They want the credible assumption that this particular outfit will protect them. Now, it's very interesting, Atishi, Marlena, let me come to you. The Sikhs, almost twice the number or thrice the number of Sikhs are standing behind Mr. Kejriwal in the capital. This is interesting because it was Mr. Kejriwal who raised the issue of the 84 riots, promising justice, etc., etc. Now, do you see a pattern there? Do you see a pattern? Because the next question that we're going to, put to our voters is going to be illuminating in a different context. So quickly respond to this. What's the reason?
I'm sorry, but your sound is completely unclear, so I haven't been able to hear the question.
Okay, the question is very straight. Do you believe that the other parties have failed the minority communities by only paying lip service to their cause? Simple question.
Sorry.
Okay, we're having problems with Atishi Marlena. Let's try to get that sorted in just a few moments, but very quickly, yes.
Let me remind you that about a week ago in the Indian Islamic Center, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal in fact tweaked with the soul of the Aam Aadmi Party by saying that corruption was not the #1 issue in the country. It was communalism which was the #1 issue. So there was a soft soap for the minorities. To say that no soap was offered, I believe, is wrong.
Well, to answer your earlier question where the Sikhs are, leaning towards Arvind Kejriwal, let me tell you that you are totally right. After he ordered a SIT into the 84 riots, Sikhs who
whether it amounts to anything or not?
No, it does, because Sikhs in the last assembly polls had voted for the BJP in big numbers, and BJP candidates in large number of places won because of the Sikh vote. Now, if the Sikhs are going to come towards the Aam Aadmi Party, it's going to be a setback for the BJP in many places. And together with the Muslim vote also, Kejriwal is a very strong force to reckon with so far as Delhi is concerned.
Okay, but let's go on to the second question. I want to bring in Pratyush here. Pratyush, the question we've asked is whether Kejriwal damaged the future prospects of the Aam Aadmi Party by resigning. Midstream, 45 or 47 days in office, he quit. Does that actually have an impact on the ground? Are the Delhi voters now thinking that he's not reliable?
Well, Rahul, the Cicero Sunday Guardian poll says they put this question out to the people of Delhi, and the answer is unambiguous, 62.5%. Take a look, 62.5%, almost 63% is the percentage of those who said that, yes, with that one move, he's very clearly affected the future of the party.
But I'm going to try and go across to Atishi Marlena if she can hear me. But before that, I just want to open this out. It's quite clear, Professor Nalapat, that the promise of change went out of the window with that resignation.
There's no doubt about it, Rahul, because the Indian voter wants performance. And today, much more emphasis on performance than on community or caste. Now, by actually, in a sense, running away from his responsibility, Arvind Kejriwal is trying to demonstrate that he's not up to performance. Whether justified or not, the perception is that he's run away from responsibility and he's not able to handle the big issues of governance.
Mr. Amir Raza Hussain, you're a great advocate of the Aam Aadmi Party. A few days back on this very show, you had suggested that this is a non-issue, that Arvind Kejriwal's resignation is a non-issue, but the people of Delhi are certainly making it an issue. Is becoming unreliable. Delhi are certainly making it an issue. Is becoming unreliable.
I think it is a non-issue for a certain class and section of the population of Delhi. The middle class, the upper middle class, certainly it's a huge issue. And if I had earlier thought if I had earlier thought that it wasn't, I stand corrected. It's a huge issue, and I think the kind of percentages which you're showing on your screen are probably quite correct. And I think with this one move, Kejriwal has certainly damaged his prospects of his party.
Okay, but it's interesting.
Not only in Delhi, but all over India.
What's really interesting is,
but I don't think
if you look at the first-time voter,
I don't think it is something he...
Okay, that he can't overcome. Fine. The first-time voter, the below 23 voter, 38% of that vote says no, not damaged. 58% say yes, damaged. But if you come down and remove age group from the equation, when you remove age group from the equation and you come down to caste, it all becomes very, very interesting, because in the caste analysis, fewer poorer voters. You talked about the upper caste and you talked about the upper income groups being perhaps disaffected. The poorer voters, Kartikeya, are not so disenchanted with Arvind Kejriwal as we have presumed. You see, that's interesting. Why is that?
You see, the reason is very, very simple. He has taken up certain issues which are very close to the issues of the lower middle class. You see, when you were talking about certain segments of the Delhi society, I think where Kejriwal has really succeeded and done exceedingly well is that he has taken certain very lower middle class issues. People who have fallen by the wayside. Development has taken place in Delhi, but there is a segment which feels left out in terms of governance, on corruption issues, on issues which concerns them on day-to-day. Something which impinges on their skin. Now, as you were asking, for example, Khirki extension debate, you know, it has costed him a lot of support in terms of pan-Indian middle-class imagination. But if you go to that particular locality, and despite all the illegality of the action of the law minister, he still has popular support there.
Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, 1 second, because I'm going to go to the next question, which feeds into this one. Pratyush, will the people of Delhi vote for Kejriwal again? That's the fundamental question we asked.
Right, Rahul. This is in fact one of the simplest questions that were put out, but the answers we got a little confusing. Remember, 49.5% of the people, they said that they will vote for Arvind Kejriwal. AAP can take perhaps heart from these numbers, but take a look at the other number. Those people who said that they won't, nearly 45% of people of Delhi have said that they won't vote for the Aam Aadmi Party again.
But if you build in, Dhananjay, if you build in the 3% error on the poll, it's a 50-50 verdict, isn't it, Dhananjay? And if you go through the numbers, it's interesting that Central Delhi, fewer voters will say yes, Central Delhi is really the upper middle class, etc. But outer Delhi, Trans-Yamuna, where the, you know, sort of lesser economic strata sort of lives.
Look at Dalits, look at Muslims, look at the young voters. So Arvind Kejriwal in Delhi still holds his core support.
Yes, Amir Raza Hussain, you want to make a point. Go ahead.
Yes, you know, what I'm trying to say is that the dharna and also partly the law minister's action was against the Delhi police. The lower middle class and the classes below have huge problems with the police. So they don't see Arvind Kejriwal's action as anything which is wrong. They think he did a great job by demonstrating against the police.
Mr. Vora,
and
this is very
anyone
interesting.
who can score a point against the police gets their vote.
Because it's those who are disenfranchised who identify with Mr. Kejriwal because they think he can do things that they can only dream of. Taking on the establishment in the manner, in the confrontationalist manner, they were all hoping to but could not because they feared retaliation.
I agree with that. Whatever Amir is saying, I fully agree with him. The large number of people are not very happy with the performance of the police, and whenever police is targeted, you know, that support shifts towards the party which is raising, you know, that kind of a issue. And secondly, there's also another issue that Kejriwal's popularity is also because the BJP in the last few years has not been able to project any singular top leader in Delhi. It used to have a very strong Punjabi leadership in Delhi, and in the last 10 years, it has not been able to have a single strong Punjabi leader in Delhi, because of which its support is, you know, shifting to other parties. That is the reason also.
Okay, that's a very nuanced,
I think that's a very relevant point. Not only Punjabi, they don't even have a Jat face in Delhi. They don't have a Jat face, they don't have a Gurjar face, they don't have a Punjabi face.
People want change from old style, closed door, back scratching politics that both the Congress and the BJP have practiced all these years, whether it's in Delhi or across the length and breadth of this country. Mr. Kejriwal's agitationist approach, many people have reflected upon it and dismissed this as anarchist, including your party, but it seems to have at least enthused the voter.
See, Rahul, I've been observing all these surveys since a while, and you would agree with me, in fact, that there is a drubbing gradually as the days pass by. There is a drubbing with the level of enthusiasm as far as AAM is concerned. And this has to be said as to why there is a drubbing. The drubbing is because romantic politics, I mean, the kind of politics that we have seen, exists and excites only for a while, and thereafter it has to be the governance which takes over. And let me repeat what Mr. Arun Jaitley has time and again spoken, that it is always substantiative governance. Substantiative governance can never be substituted by unconstitutional unconventional ways for long.
You know, I just want to say that in Delhi, the BJP has a big problem. In many other states, the BJP functions more or less autonomously from the center, unlike the Congress party.
Okay.
But in Delhi, the national BJP leaders interfere quite a lot in the functioning of the Delhi unit, and as a result, the Delhi leaders, in my view,
and has no identity.
Have much less of an identity.
Okay, let me bring in Atishi Marlena. I believe that we've got a better line to her. Atishi Marlena, in your absence, we asked 3 questions and we got answers to all of them. In your opinion, has Arvind Kejriwal damaged the AAP's future prospects by resigning from the government in Delhi? A large number of people have said yes. 62% people polled across the state of Delhi feel that he's not someone they can depend on. The second question we asked, do you think that the people of Delhi will vote for Kejriwal's AAP again? You have hope here. 50% of the people say yes, we will vote again. It's in the error of margin, but at least there is a consolation for you that they haven't entirely given up for you. Are we going to see perhaps a change in tactics in this confrontationalist approach, because your middle income groups have deserted you? Atishi Marlena.
I'm sorry, your sound is still not clear. So I'm sorry, I can't answer your question.
Well, we can hear you quite clearly, Ms. Marlena. We can hear you very, very clearly. Are you still having problems?
I think she's in a surround atmosphere where there's a lot of sound, masking effect is there.
Exactly.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Atishi Marlena? Well, we're having problems. We're having big audio problems. I believe, of course, that our line is pretty clear because she heard us just a few moments back. So perhaps there's something happening there. Maybe there's a signal going in and out. But very, very quickly, this is fundamental. Dr. Patra, this is fundamental because the people of Delhi are willing to give the Aam Aadmi Party a chance again.
Rahul, one thing has to be very clear over here. You realize that Aam Aadmi Party came to power because of 2 things. First and foremost, the Aam Aadmi Party said that we'll change the conventional way of politicizing and we'll give you a lot of things. We are going to give you 50% reduction in the water bills. We are going to give you 50% reduction in the electricity bills. But wait for the next month when the bills really arrive. And then more than 50% of the people who say that they would really like to vote for the Aam Aadmi Party would realize the folly that the Aam Aadmi Party has really done. Secondly, and most importantly, the Aam Aadmi Party from the very beginning has been saying that we do not want power. We are not the people who want a chief minister's or prime minister's seat. But now it lies naked in the sun.
Okay.
In the sense that they are power hungry.
Let's find out what the people of Delhi have to say, because there's another connected question. Do you approve or disapprove of AAP's style of politics? Pratyush, what do the people of Delhi have to say to that?
Well, in this one question, Rahul, it's the nays that have really won over the ayes, because 49.4% of the people polled have said that they disapprove of AAP style of politics. An almost equal number of amount, about 47% of people have said that they approve of AAP style of politics.
Okay, so the jury is still out on that one. The next question is more interesting. It's a question that has national ramifications. Pratyush, we asked the voters of Delhi on the back of a very polarizing campaign that both the Congress and the BJP have been running, if they believe that the Congress has much to explain for the 84 riots, at least as much to explain as the BJP for the 2002 riots in Gujarat. Pratyush, what's the verdict?
Well, after asking that question, we got an overwhelming response. 78%, almost 79% of people said yes, the Congress has as much to explain. It's a very small number, around about 15% of people who said perhaps no, the rest were undecided. But around 78% of people said the Congress has as much to explain as the BJP.
Interestingly, the Muslims also believe that the Congress has much to explain. Kartikeya, let me quickly come to you, and I also want to bring in Mr. Amir Raza Hussain. Kartikeya, why would it be that the Muslim community would feel equally aggrieved? Why is it that the Sikh community obviously agrees, we know that, but why would the Muslim community also feel equally aggrieved? Do they identify with the fact that minorities have not been represented adequately by the Congress, even though they have placed their faith in them?
You see, if we look at the community which you call Muslim, from a vanguard, that they live in urban areas, they too have aspirations, and India has become aspirational over a period of time, and then you cannot cast them in a particular set. Then we'll find that their aspirations would meet the slogans of Arvind Kejriwal. Secondly, Rahul, the minority problem is not limited to Delhi. This is something which Congress will have to come to terms with throughout India. You'll find Muslim votes splitting, either going to the regional parties or even in some marginal ways making some vote for Bharatiya Janata Party. I think this one setback awaits Congress throughout the country.
Amir Raza Hussain, the interesting thing about this question is it seems to suggest that Narendra Modi has had much success in buttonholing the Congress party on this entire issue of minority welfare and, of course, on the lateral issue of minority security.
No, there is, of course he has, but I'll tell you, you know, the minority community has a long-standing grudge with the Congress party. The grudge with the Congress party started even before the destruction of the Babri Masjid. And because, you know, after about 30, 35, 40 years of independence, the community realized that the Congress party was actually taking them for a ride. But whenever they look around, they don't have, often they don't have a choice. When they have a choice, they overwhelmingly vote for the choice, as they did after the emergency, as they have done in the past, and as they are doing today with Kejriwal. They don't go to the Congress. You see, the Congress party has not let any actual Muslim leader develop. They have not let
But there's a corollary to this question, Mr. Raza. There is a corollary to this question. The corollary is this, that Narendra Modi has been suggesting that he stands for a sort of inclusivism. He doesn't stand for a divisive identity, political appeal. He stands for an inclusivism. Is he going to benefit? Are the minorities now looking at him as an option?
No, not at all. No, because they don't trust him. I mean, how can they trust the man? Till 3 months ago, he was making, doing Mia so-and-so and Mia so-and-so, and a month ago, burqa of secularism and the puppy remark, and hum paanch, hamare 25.
He was part of your party.
No.
He was part of your party.
Exactly.
He left your party when Mr. Narendra Modi was anointed as prime ministerial face.
Mr. Modi is part of Bharatiya Janata Party long before Mr. Raza was a part of the party. So if he felt so low of Mr. Modi, he should not have joined the party.
I agree.
But I would not go on a personal forte. Let's put this whole thing to rest over here. But on a broader prospect, Mr. Raza...
Let me finish.
Please.
Let me finish.
Please.
Please, let me finish. I'm saying that if there was anybody else leading the Bharatiya Janata Party today, even like a Mr. Advani, substantial percentage of Muslim votes would have gone to the party.
Interesting.
But the Muslims just do not trust Narendra.
Answer that question.
Just do not trust Narendra Modi. They have even today, excuse me, they have just even today voted for Shivraj Singh Chauhan. They will vote for Sushma Swaraj. They will even vote for Lal Kishan Advani.
Mr. Raza, you are absolutely right that they have voted for Sushma Swaraj, they have voted for Advani ji, they have voted for Shivraj Singh Chauhan. So do they have voted for Mr. Narendra Modi. They have voted for Narendra Modi in huge proportions, and that's the reason as to why he is the Chief Minister for 3 consecutive times. And let me remind you of the Salaya seat also. The Salaya seat, which is 90% Muslim dominated, in fact, won hands-on. BJP won there in Gujarat. So, I mean, let's not divide it on the caste lines and the religion lines. But the writing on the walls are clear. The minorities have realized, as you were first pointing out, that the Congress has taken them for a ride. And this time the option which is really going to give a determined government is the Narendra Modi, which is really going to give a determined government is the Narendra Modi-led BJP.
Has a lot to worry about on the basis of what we've just polled out. Does the Congress have as much to explain for the 84 riots as the BJP about 2002? This is bad news. The Congress is failing.
Both 2002 as well as 1984 were very shameful incidents.
Yes.
The fact remains that, you know, no one can condone it, neither the action what is attributed to the Congress or what happened in Gujarat. So basically, you know, if you see the logical corollary of this poll, which has been done in context of Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party, which was not a party to either 84 or 2002 out there, is a direct beneficiary of the minority vote. So its vote bank has swelled, and that is a thing which...
So Congress is losing out.
Congress of course is losing out. BJP also has a lot to worry about.
Does that mean Rahul Gandhi needs to change the rhetoric, the message that he's putting out? Because the Congress has situated this, Professor, as a war between secularism and communalism the people of Delhi, at least the people of Delhi, have seen through this?
Well, the fact is, Rahul, that this is a very, very encouraging statistic, because it shows that when there's a communal riot, people of all communities get upset and they are very unhappy about it. And it's not just that when their own community is affected, but other communities are affected, they themselves get upset. So I think this shows the basically secular nature of the Indian people. Having said that, I'd like to point out that Rahul Gandhi, Arvind Kejriwal is making the same mistake as Rahul Gandhi. He is stressing minority politics to the exclusion of the people of India as a whole. And he's also, in a sense, playing to that kind of a gallery. It might give him short-term benefits, but definitely long-term problems.
Kejriwal is also playing the same card. He did it in Gujarat. He did it in Gujarat.
No, I have not actually heard or seen Kejriwal play the minority card at all. In fact, this is the first time a leader is getting minority votes without actually speaking on behalf of the minorities.
He changed his
He has not even paid.
Dr. Patra,
I told him, Mr. Raja, I reminded you what happened 2 weeks ago. He tweaked the soul. The soul of Aam Aadmi Party was anti-corruption stand, but he said that corruption is secondary, but primary is fighting the communal passions of India. And that's what I believe. That's what is speaking the soul.
And Amir Raza Hussain, some of his representatives in Uttar Pradesh are known to be people who have, I wouldn't like to use the word, but seem to have exposed themselves as bigots.
Be it Saharanpur or be it Moradabad, we all are aware of the fact.
Why is communalism and corruption, why can't they go hand in hand? Why does one have to be an issue at the cost of the other? We know that this country faces two huge issues. One is communalism, one is corruption. They are both
Mr. Vora wants to respond.
Huge issues, and we have to combat them.
He's responding. Mr. Vora.
Basically, when Kejriwal was fighting the Congress in Delhi, corruption was the issue. Now his battle is basically against the BJP. So communalism is an issue. So I don't think there is any confusion in his mind. When Congress becomes an opponent, corruption becomes an issue. When BJP becomes an opponent, communalism becomes an issue. That's what his tactics are.
And power is common between
them. Will this last question have an effect on the fortunes of the Congress and, in fact, the Bharatiya Janata Party in tighter contests where the polarization is great in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar? Dhananjay.
Yeah, well, yes, this will happen, and if you look at this last question, what it really tells us is that there is a lot of polarization in this election, and the Congress and the BJP, both of them have got to answer for what they did, and in Delhi specifically more so because Arvind Kejriwal comes up as a third option, giving an alternative which has yet not been tainted in riots.
The big headline out of this poll is that despite all the antics and the events of the last 1.5 months or so, Arvind Kejriwal remains in the race. 50% of Delhi still believes he's got it in him to deliver good governance. He's got it in him to give Delhi a sense of security, its minorities a sense of security, and that he can be a messiah for change and empowerment. That's the interesting headline that's coming out of this. Of course, it's still about, what would it be, about 4 or 5 weeks to the first phase in Delhi? To the phase in Delhi? I think
it's April 10th. April 10th.
It's April 10th, so that's about 5 weeks,
exactly.
4 weeks.
But let me remind you of one thing. I mean, the pack of cards which build the castle of the Aam Aadmi Party is coming down card by card every day. So this pack also has
a point to make.
Yes, Rahul, when we were looking at this, the Congress has as much to explain for the 1984 riots of Delhi. I think the reason is that Rahul Gandhi, in one of his interviews, refused to apologize for what happened in 1984. You see, it had an impact. It brought back the memories in very iconic ways. And this survey has been done post
when an opportunity lost is perhaps an opportunity gained for someone. We have to still find out who gains. We're leaving it at that because we've completely run out of time.
I just had a question. The question was, look, Karthik rightly pointed out, when he was asked the question as to what happened in 1984, he's told that I was quite small and I do not have any memories of 1984. My question is, how aged he was, how big was he when Gandhi was killed in 1948?
Well, Okay, well, you know, we can continually go down that route, but the fact of, and rake up history, but the fact of the matter is, history might still be written in Delhi, courtesy the triangular contest that we're likely to witness. We're leaving it at that on Poll Pulse. We return tomorrow with the state of Gujarat. Very interesting contest there, specifically after Arvind Kejriwal's foray into the state and Rahul Gandhi taking Modi on quite a different level. Do join us tomorrow at 6 p.m. Same place, same time. Don't go away.